Hello and welcome to today's live English lesson here on the AM Language YouTube channel. I am sorry that I'm a little bit late. I had some technical difficulties. Anyway, I am live, I am here, and we are definitely running. Always a bit of a problem when it comes to technical difficulties. My latest technical difficulty actually has more to do with my computer. My charger and my laptop don't like each other at the moment, so that's causing a bit of trouble. Leondina, good afternoon. Welcome to today's lesson. Thank you for joining. Buon pomeriggio. I hope you're doing well. On today's lesson, we are going to look at beauty, really, the discussion of beauty and the ancient world. So we're going to go down a little bit of a route of how to talk about things from a cultural perspective when we travel and to share our thoughts. Irina F says, hello, good afternoon. Irina, привет. Noella, welcome back to the channel. Hola, obrigado. And Evelina, good afternoon. Buono pomeriggio. Thank you for joining. So, what are we looking at over here in the content today? Well, we're trying to take a cultural look at things, and we want to try and expand our vocabulary when it comes to talking about things that we think are interesting and beautiful in some sort of way. But there's certain things. First of all, the word beautiful. Now, beautiful. What's happened over here? I don't need to be on full screen. I don't know why my computer did that. Every single time I type, it wants to go full screen. Why does it want to go? I don't need to be like that. Stop doing it. I don't know. Maybe my sleeve is touching something. Interesting. Well, I don't know. I'll just have to continue. Oh, don't do this to me. Don't do this to me. Every single time I type the letter I, my computer wants to play around with me. I've never known anything so weird. Let's try one more time. Yeah, every single time I press F. Okay, right. I'm going to get my phone, and I will have to interact with you guys from my phone because for some reason it's not letting me type. Okay, so we do talk about things like words like beautiful, pretty, nice, but these aren't the best words to go with. These are quite simple words, really, and we want to try and use other words. We want to expand our vocabulary. We want to try and go for something a bit more interesting. Okay, so there we go. Right. So what I'd like you guys to do is, first of all, what on earth is happening over here? First of all, I'd like you guys just to let me know, what do you think are the most beautiful historical sites in the world? What do you think are the most beautiful historical sites in the world? What do you guys think? And we'll compare your answers. Why would that be wet? It doesn't need to be wet. Okay, what do you think are the most beautiful historical sites in the world? For me, okay, on the thumbnail over here, I've gone with the pyramids in Egypt. I don't know if you guys have been to the pyramids in Egypt. I have. I've been lucky enough to visit, and they are, well, I've got one or two words. The first word I would use, I'm just going to type over here. So the first word I would use is spectacular. Now, spectacular is is it going to come up for me? You know what? Today is, yes, it has come up for me. You know what? These days, I just find I just don't think it's my day at the moment when it comes to technology. Clearly, technology doesn't like me, but that's nothing new. But yeah, spectacular would be the word I would go with when talking about something like the pyramids. Spectacular is another word for, well, it does mean amazing, but it can also mean beautiful, amazing and beautiful. So I would go with something like that when talking about something like the pyramids. I would also, if I were talking about the Colosseum, on the other hand, if I'm talking about the Colosseum, I would go with let's see, I would go with magnificent. Again, magnificent is something amazing. It's something, that's wow, it's big, it's huge, it's beautiful. So spectacular, magnificent. And a third one that I would go with, let's see, what would I go with as a third one? I don't want to go tremendous. I mean, Donald Trump used the word tremendous many times. But I would say what you can go with is, here we go. No, let's try again. Let's go with, now I'm just going to go with an example over here. You will see this pop up in just a second in the live chat. Quintessentially, or quintessential. When you go with something like this word, quintessential or quintessentially, it's a really good way. It's an adverb, quintessentially, because you've got LLY thrown in, and then you've got the category that you would be talking about. And when you go with something like this, quintessentially, it's the adverb of quintessential. And quintessential talks about, it represents the most perfect or typical example of a quality or class, which is why it's a wonderful word. Quintessential or quintessentially Roman, quintessentially French, quintessentially British, quintessentially Spanish, Portuguese. You throw anything in there. But when you use quintessential, you are saying this is one of the most perfect representations. And all of these things are alternatives to using beautiful. So I'm going to suggest one or two things. Think of a place, think of a historical location, and see if you can describe it for me. It doesn't have to be, now here obviously we've got the ancient world in the title. If any of you have been to like Pompeii, for example, in Italy, or various, well, actually, to be honest with you, Italy in itself is designed for this, along with the likes of Greece, Turkey as well, actually. Iran. I can't read what your Irina. I can't. I can't quite read what your name is. But if you would like, feel free to write a little bit more so I can understand the context of your question. So Noella has said, what about the Sacred Family in Barcelona? It's not so historical, but it's an outstanding monument, one of the most amazing and spectacular things I've ever seen. That's really good. That's a really good sentence. A couple of sentences, Noella, and a good use of spectacular as well. And I like the fact that you didn't repeat yourself with any of the adjectives. So good stuff there. Leondina says, for me, one of the most spectacular historical sites. If you go with one of the most historical or one of the most spectacular historical sites, so one of the most, you're going to have to use the plural of the noun. So one of the most spectacular historical sites in the world is Pompeii. Yeah, Pompeii is. I mean, think of anything, think of your adjective really there. You've got, I mean, when we think about it, can you use magnificent? Of course, quintessentially Roman, definitely. Is it spectacular? Without question. All of those would be very good examples of how you could use it. I think, have any of you been to, I tell you what, I'm going to talk about one ancient place that I would definitely talk about. Connection is not too good, says one. For me, the connection's okay. I hope you can. I hope you can manage with your connection trouble there. So I'm going to mention one place that I haven't mentioned yet, and it's a shame actually that I haven't mentioned it yet. Let's see. Okay, so the Greek building I have in mind, you've got quite a few still standing in Greece. I don't know if you've been to Greece before. So one famous place is, of course, the old Temple of Athena. I don't know if you know it. I'll write it over here. Um, I've been lucky enough to go to Greece, and I have been to the old Temple of Athena. So the old, I think it was the building I went to anyway. I certainly went to one of these. The old Temple of Athena. There we go. The old Temple of Athena. Um, how would I describe the old Temple of Athena? Well, it's a okay. So is it an ancient building? Yes, of course. Um, is it a historical place? Yes, of course. So it's, but more so than that, I would say historically significant to the Greek period. Now, this is what I've done here is I've taken historical, the adjective, and I've turned it into an adverb. So we've gone from historical to historically. And when you do this, you're basically going adverb plus adjective. So historically significant to the Greek period. For those of you who know their Greek history, you would know that the old Temple of Athena was, in fact, quite an important building for them in terms of their the way they went about life. It was a tribute to the Athena god, one of many gods in the Greek tradition, if I'm not mistaken. And typically speaking, what you would find with Greek temples is that they were most of the time on top of a hill or close to the top of a hill somewhere, looking down somewhere else. So that's one way of looking at it. The other way that we could also look at it is, let's go with this term. There we go. So the next thing I'm going to come out with is inspiringly preserve. So you've got inspire. Let's see when it's about to pop up. Noella says here in Portugal we have Mosterio dos Hieronymus, an historical and impressive monastery from the 15th century. Thank you very much, Noella. You've got a few impressive places in Portugal, actually, when it comes to these sort of things. And when we come across something old, we can use a term like inspire, then you turn it into the adjective inspiring, and then you turn it into the adverb inspiringly. inspiringly preserved. Now, preserved means that it's still there. People have looked after it. But if it's inspiringly preserved, a little bit like Pompeii, it means it's quite clear that people have put a lot of effort in making sure that these buildings have been protected, that they've been looked after, that we can enjoy um, the history surrounding it. I would say another place that has this that I've recently visited was actually in Peru. Now, for those of you who have not been, if you have ever been to Peru, you would know about the Incas. Now, the Inca Empire stretched not just within Peru, it stretched all the way through Ecuador as well, and it stretched south as well, much further south, right all the way down through, all the way down to within Argentina, if I'm not mistaken. So it was quite a big empire. And of course, Peru is one of the best sites where you can see lots of Inca history. And Machu Picchu is an inspiringly preserved place. It's been wonderfully preserved. And as a result, you end up being, you are able to get the feel of the place. Now, it's important to say, to ask the question, can you get a feel of the place? Okay, and I'll put that question in. Can you get a feel for the place? This is when you walk, this is when you go along and you're in a place that you know is old, but even though it is old, you still feel part of the history. You can feel the history. So let me know what places you have been to where you have felt the history. Now, I would say for those of you who have not been to London, if you ever go to London, you have the Tower of London. And when you go to the Tower of London, you can definitely get a feel for the place. Now, what is the feeling? Now, funnily enough, I've said beauty, but the Tower of London is not visually beautiful. You don't look at it and you think, oh, wow, that is beautiful. No, this is a different type. It's not visually beautiful. If you like your history, then you would find it very, I would say, captivating is the word that we can use. Okay, and captivating essentially means let's go with this. Let's go with this. Captivating is extremely interesting. So you can go along and you can think to yourself, okay, yeah, this building doesn't look great, but I know the history there. And because I know the history, it is captivating. I think another example would be if you've been to Berlin, you could see the little bits of the Berlin Wall. Nobody looks at the Berlin Wall and thinks that's a beautiful wall. No, but it's captivating. It's interesting. You can feel the history that's connected to that. Another example I would say is for those of you who might have been to Jerusalem, because it's such an old city and you've got, it's a center for so much history. When you walk around, again, some places are very captivating. They're extremely interesting. Now, I would say if you look at a place like Jerusalem, a lot of things are generally very nice to look at. There's a lot of beauty to be had. But then some things, they're not necessarily beautiful, but they're still captivating. Now, I would say one place that is beautiful, without question. It's captivating, it's inspiringly preserved, it's historical, it's spectacular, is my favorite city in the world. And my favorite city in the world, for me, is, I'm going to go by its actual name rather than the name in English, is Firenze, or Florence. So let me know why do I say that? Well, I can say I would put a lot of adjectives to Firenze. So I'd say Firenze, for example, and I invite you to try and do this after I have written. Try and describe a place like I'm going to describe Firenze. So Firenze is a captivating uh, it's a captivating city, and it's been inspiringly preserved since its his since its um, since it's historically spectacular. There we go. This is a nice little sentence. So Firenze is a captivating city, and it's been inspiringly preserved since its historically spectacular. Since it's historically spectacular. I'm going to go with that. I invite you to try and create your own sentence. Have a little look. The thing is, can you have a go at trying to use more than one type of adjective? So here you can see Firenze is a captivating city, and it's been inspiringly preserved since it's historically spectacular. And someone else has come in. Let's see. So Leondina has said, the first time I went to Greece, I visited the old city of Mincenne, maybe. I'm not sure how to pronounce that, actually. And there I got a feel for the captivating Lion Gate. Really nice city, really nice sentence, Leondina. I like the way you used captivating there. So I invite you guys, have a go, come in, think of a place, and try and use more than one adjective to describe the place. Maybe try an adverb as well. Like I said, what we're looking at here is that we don't always have to use the words beautiful or nice or pretty. There are many, many other words that we can use. And there's some more that we can introduce. So let's see if you guys can come out with anything. Now, this city of Mincene. I'm going to go with Mincene. I could be wrong, but I'm going to go with the pronunciation of Mincene. Now, I haven't been to Mincene, but there you got the feel for the captivating Lion Gate. I think there are many places in the world where when you enter the gates of old cities, you are left sort of thinking, wow, this is really, really impressive. The most impressive gates that I have seen, I don't know. That would be a hard one to say. Funnily enough, even though I'm English, believe it or not, I've never visited or been to Buckingham Palace. I've never stood outside the grand gates. Grand is a good one for big gates. But yeah, I've never sat outside or been to the grand gates of Buckingham Palace. Noella says, Para is a fascinating city. It has a huge number of marvelous monuments and awesome places to visit. Nice sentence there, Noella. Thank you very much. Okay. Para. Where is Para? Actually, I haven't heard of Para. Is this in Portugal? Para. Let's see. Para. Oh, so Para is in Czech Republic. Prague. Okay. So yeah, in English, Para would be Prague. A slight difference. Oh, okay. But I actually haven't been. But I haven't been to Prague before. But now I understand. Okay, so German is Prague. Latin is Praga. No, Praja, I suppose, in Latin. So yeah, Para becomes Prague. Okay, so there we go. No, I have not been to Prague before. Um, okay, yeah. So in the Latin-based language, it would be Praja, I'm guessing. But in English, it's Prague. We like to spell it with a UE for some reason. I don't know why. But I've heard many good things about Prague, actually. Um, and Praja in Italy. Oh, right, you're talking about Praja in Italy. Okay, not. Well, I don't know why I wrote para. Oh, right. Okay, so there's a bit of a confusion. So we meant Praja in Italy, but so not Prague in Czech Republic. Okay, well, I'm glad that we got that one sorted out over there. Nonetheless, there's other uh, things that we can describe. So now I'm going to help to explain how we could talk about a nice little place. So I'm going to introduce you to a place. I just need to remember how to spell it. It's a sweet little place. I can't remember now. Is it Salé in France? I always get La Salette. Is it La Salette? I think it's La Salette. You know what? I'm a little bit worried when it comes to trying to name places in France. Anyway, picture, okay, a small place. And what we can say is this small ancient town is. Ooh, I like that one. I like this. Okay, we're going to go with this word. I haven't used this word in quite some time. So the word here is quaint. Now, quaint is, you can also use, you've got alternatives as well. For instance, you can say sometimes it's quaintish. You can ish, if you're never too sure, you can just add ish on the end. Um, and you could also say it's quaintly styled as well. But what does quaint mean? Well, quaint is a wonderful word to use. I would use it with a place like Verona, actually. Um, and what it means here is it's attractively unusual or old-fashioned. It's quaint. So you could say it's a quaint village. Now, I would say so I invite you in the live chat section to tell me of places you think are quaint. Now, I would describe Verona as a quaint place. You could definitely say Venice is Venice is definitely quaint in not just in the sense that it's an old-fashioned place, but it's attractively unusual. Venice is a very unusual place with all its with considering it's built where water can come in at any moment. It is as it's been built on marshlands by the sea, so it's a very quaint place. Obviously, you either have to, well, yeah, you're going to need a boat of some kind to get around Venice. The buildings are very old. I don't know if any of you have been to Venice, but it's a wonderful place. And St. Marco's Square, Piazza, is incredible, actually. Leondina says that in her opinion, Mantova is also a quaint city that deserves to be visited. Um, would I use the word deserves to be visited? I suppose it depends on the context. Deserves to be recognized. Yes, we could use it like that. But if we're going to go with visited, I don't know. We need a little bit more in terms of the context, but because it's not an absolute no, but maybe that requires, that needs to be, that ought to be. I would go perhaps with ought to be visited. Now, Mantova, where is Mantova? I'm not too sure. Let's see, Mantova. Now, if I've got the right place, then it's in Lombardy. Lombardy, is it? Am I right in thinking it's Lombardy in Italy? Let me know if that's the case. Sorrento in Italy is a quaint village. Yes, absolutely. I haven't been to Sorrento, but I'm aware of it. And yes, it's in Italy. It's funny how we keep on coming back to Italy with our examples. But I suppose that should be expected. Let's see if we can think of other places outside Italy that are quaint. I imagine Seville in Spain would be. In Portugal, maybe Porto is quaint, or Lisbon. In Germany, maybe places like, where would I say in Germany? Maybe Hanover or Hamburg, possibly. I'm not sure. I don't really know Germany well enough. France, there's lots of places that you could describe as quaint in its style. Malta, you do have quite a few places that are quaint. I think it's fair to say Valletta, you could be described as quaint. Bergu, some of the old cities. In Imdina actually could be described as quaint as well. Noella says San Miguel, a quaint island in Azores. There we go. Yeah. Now, do I know where? In the island of Azores. A quaint island a quaint island in Azores. Okay, I'll have to look a little bit into that actually. Let's see when we look at it, and then we go with the place. Just need to you're probably right in terms of using in, because usually you're going to use in a place. Okay. Samaga is the biggest island in the Portuguese Azores archipelago. Archipelago. Okay, right, now I understand. I haven't been to Sao Miguel, actually. I've been to quite a few places. Maybe quaint is not the most appropriate adjective. It might not be. It might not be. If you're talking about a place on an island that's part of a bigger island, what could we go with? Maybe. What's the best way I would describe it? I'm not really sure. I'm trying to think of some islands that I've been to that could be a good example that might be similar to this place. If I think of it, it might be. I'm not sure. I'd have to have a little think. I'm not sure actually. So yeah, so those are some of the examples. Really trying to think of how I would describe it. I suppose one way I could think to myself is, how would I describe a place like Camino, maybe? Um, I know. I'd go with maybe something like, there we go. So I've gone for this, by the way. So I've gone with a small picturesque island hidden away from the mainland. Now, there are two things about this. Picturesque. Picturesque is a really good word to know. It's very easy to remember what it means. Imagine looking at a really good view and you think, wow, I want to take a picture. That is picturesque. And we definitely get that from a Latin-based language, most probably French in particular. So a small picturesque island. Now, hidden away from the mainland, what this means is that um, it's like, think of hidden means to hide. So when you are on the mainland, wherever it is, it might not be obvious straight away where this island is. It You'd have to be in a certain location to see the island, or you might have to be at a particular location in order to even get to the island. So you would say maybe, I am guessing that this place that you mentioned, Noella, might very well fit that description of picturesque island hidden away from the mainland. Evelina says picturesque island in Sicily is Favignana. Favignana, maybe. I'm probably saying that wrong. I've been to Sicily many, many, many times. But I don't know this place. Favignana. You'd have to tell me where it roughly is. Let's see if I can find out where it is, actually. Now I'm intrigued, because I've been to Sicily so many times. Where is this? Let's see on the map. Okay. All right. Okay. So yes, now I see where it is. So it's quite far out. Yeah, this is definitely not close to Malta, that's for sure. But now I see where it is. So it's on the other side, really. Quite far away, but I imagine it would be beautiful. Thank you very much for introducing me. I'd have to go west. If I go to Sicily, I'd have to go west. So, guys, that brings us to the end of today's lesson. So, apologies. Sorry for being late at the start of the lesson due to technical problems, as sometimes, well, as I'm currently experiencing with my terrible situation with my laptop. On a slightly different note, guys, just remind you, tomorrow there won't be a lesson, but come Friday there will be. And Friday we're looking at food ideas for the weekend. Food ideas for the weekend. So make sure you join me for that on Friday. Thank you very much for joining today, and apologies for being late. A big thank you to Evelina, Noella, Leondina, Irina F, Evelina, for your participation in today's lesson. I can see there's another person who joined us today, but I'm unable to read their name. But thank you very much for joining. And so have a wonderful evening, and I will see you on Friday. Irina F says thank you. Have a good evening. You too. And Evelina says take care. Bye. You're welcome. Take care, guys, and see you Friday. Bye for now.